from now with Mogli. Whether you're just getting started or you can use a quick refresher, we hope this tutorial will give you everything you need to do more of what matters with SMS. If you have Mogli installed in your production org, you'll notice our in-app guidance prompts to help you along the way. Let's get started. On my screen is my test contact record in Salesforce. We'll be going over some Mogli-related fields and conversation view features. To the right of my Salesforce instance is iMessage. iMessage has nothing to do with Mogli. We're only using it as a way to showcase text messages being sent and received in real time. Let's start by taking a look at my test contact record and going over a few Mogli-related fields. Keep in mind that Mogli can send and receive texts on any other standard or custom Salesforce objects. The mobile field is a standard Salesforce field which is instrumental in populating the Mogli number field. The Mogli number is a uniquely formatted mobile number. It's populated via a workflow that runs off of the mobile field and removes all non-numerical characters and adds a plus and country code. Once your Mogli number field appears like this, you'll be ready to send and receive text with your recipient. The Mogli number acts as a unique identifier for each and every record. This means that every time an incoming message arrives, Mogli will look for a record with the sender's Mogli number and associate the message to it. Beneath that field is the default gateway field. We use the term gateway to define our outbound phone number. A gateway is the phone number that messages are sent and received over. This optional field is useful when keeping consistency for your recipients. For example, if multiple users are texting a recipient, having this field populated will let them know which gateway is most often used to contact them so that they don't receive correspondence from your users over many different phone numbers. The Mogli opt-out checkbox can be modified manually or by way of an automation. When checking the box, we can see that the conversation view is disabled. We've got a quick and easy process builder in our user guide that can automatically check and uncheck the Mogli opt-out checkbox when somebody texts in the single words of stop, start, and more. Lastly, the Mogli avatar URL field adds a little fun into our conversation view. By populating this field with an image's URL, we'll see that image appear as an avatar next to every incoming text message from your contact. Let's hop into conversation view. Here's where you'll find the last 300 incoming and outgoing texts to and from this contact. Outgoing messages will contain the image associated with the user detail record of the user sending the message. If no image is associated with that user, the user's initials will appear instead. Beneath each message, you'll notice the gateway used as well as the time the message was sent or received. If multiple users are engaging with this contact, we'll have the option of filtering the messages that appear in conversation view by clicking into this gear icon and selecting a user. Additionally, each user can modify their own text and bubble colors so that their own outgoing messages are more easily located. To send a message, type directly in the Message to Send field and click Enter or the red arrow. Our character counter helps you keep tabs on the length of your message. Generally, it's best practice to aim for 160 characters, but we've successfully tested up to 1,600 characters. Beneath the Message to Send field, you'll find more customization options. This drop-down menu allows users to select the gateway from which they'd like to send their message. Keeping the selection at default will prompt Mogli to send the message over the gateway populated in the default gateway field on the record. If no value is in the default gateway field, Mogli will send the message from our global default gateway, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. Users can also select a different gateway if they'd like. To the right is our SMS Template dropdown. SMS Templates are pre-created messages that can be a one-off quick announcement or kick off an automated conversation or survey. Using SMS templates is a great way to ensure that your users are communicating consistent information to their recipients. Lastly, you'll have the option of scheduling your message by choosing a date and time for delivery. After your date and time are selected, clicking Send will queue up the message for delivery. You'll notice a little clock icon next to the scheduled message. If you want to locate the entire history of all incoming and outgoing messages with this contact, hop over to your related lists. Click View All under the SMS related list. Here's where you'll be able to see all incoming and outgoing messages. Additionally, you'll find a Forms related list that contains information from any automated surveys or conversation that this contact has participated in. Next up, SMS Templates. To create a new SMS template, head over to the SMS Templates tab. Click New. For our use case, we're hoping to let our recipients know that there's been a change in parking arrangements for an upcoming event. Name your SMS template. We're going to name this one Parking Change. In the text field, populate your message. Our SMS template contains a merge field so that our recipients each receive a personalized message. We'll show you how to configure merge fields in just a bit. Click Save. Your SMS template is ready to use. Let's hop over to the bulk SMS screen to send it out to a group. Click the Bulk SMS tab. This is one of the places you can go anytime you'd like to send the same message out to more than one recipient at a time. Bulk messages can also be created via contact and lead list views by clicking the Send SMS Lightning button. You'll have the option of selecting a campaign from the lookup field, or manually selecting contacts, leads, or records from other objects. Once your recipients are populated in the SMS Recipients section, you're ready to create your message. In the SMS Message section, you can manually type a message, use a merge field, or select an SMS template. Similarly to Conversation View, select the gateway from which to send your message. Keeping the selection at default will send each message out over the default gateway that's populated on each of your recipients' records. You'll also have the option of selecting a different gateway. If your message is being sent to more than 150 recipients, a banner will populate, advising you to select the Intelligent Routing Gateway. This is an add-on feature of Mogli and allows you to send large bulk sends quickly and efficiently by spreading traffic out over a bank of many phone numbers tied to our messaging partner. If your recipient count is less than 150 recipients, feel free to select a regular gateway to send your message. Optionally, choose to schedule your message. When everything looks good on the bulk SMS screen, click Send and your messages are off and running. Now, how will we be notified if someone responds to our message? With Mogli, there are many ways to be notified when an important incoming message arrives. Our out-of-the-box solution is in-app notifications via the utility bar. Alternative notifications can be configured, such as email, text message, chatter, and push notifications. Reach out to our team for more information. For now, we'll focus on our in-app notifications. This component can be added to any of your other Lightning unmanaged apps. By configuring these notifications, users will be notified for any important incoming message, whether it's a response to a bulk message, a one-on-one conversation, or an automated conversation. Each user can create their own notification setting by clicking into the Notifications component and clicking Settings. In the Allow Notifications For dropdown, a user can select which setting best applies and which gateways they'd like to be notified over. Click Update. All notification settings can be viewed by going to the Notification Settings tab. Let's see what happens when an incoming message arrives. An audible chime is produced and the component will blink, indicating that a message has arrived that meets the notification criteria of the logged-in user. When the user clicks on the component, they'll see the name of the contact or lead as well as the message. Clicking on the notification will take the user directly to the record where they'll be able to continue the conversation. Let's see what happens when an incoming message arrives. An audible chime is produced and the component will blink, indicating that a message has arrived that meets the notification criteria of the logged-in user. When the user clicks on the component, they'll see the name of the contact or lead as well as the message. Clicking on the notification will take the user directly to the record where they'll be able to continue the conversation. Where can you find records of your org-wide SMS history? Easy. Check out the SMS tab. Here, you'll find all incoming, outgoing, and scheduled text in the All list view. Feel free to create other list views for certain users or other use cases. Click into the SMS number for specific information on each text. These fields are especially useful when creating text message automations. Next up, Form Templates. Navigate to the Form Templates tab. Here's where we start when building automated conversations or surveys. Let's say you'd like to send out a quick text survey after an event so that attendees can provide feedback. You've already thought about your questions and you're ready to build out your script. Let's get started. Click New. Let's name our template Post-Event Survey and put it in a status of draft. We plan on sending this survey out to all attendees, but if we wanted them to be able to text into us to participate, here's where we would insert an inbound keyword that they can text in to initiate the survey. This is optional, but we'll go ahead and make the keyword fun. Keep in mind that the keyword is case insensitive. Click Save. Form template has been created. Now it's time to build out our script. In the Question Templates section, click New. Let's label our first question, Thanks, and favorite part. Populate our message text. And is this our first question? Yes, it is. Form complete means, is this a potential end to our survey? And it's not, because we're going to ask a few more questions, so I'm going to uncheck this box, and then click Save and New. Our second question, I'm going to say least favorite. What was your least favorite? We're going to ask one more question, so it's not our first question and it's not a form complete, so I'm going to uncheck both of those and Save and New. And our third question. Save and New. Last question. And is this a potential form complete? And yes, it is. And save. So now you can see we have all of our question templates created. And if I click View All, we can see our script. We can see that we have one first question and one form complete, which looks great. Next, we have to just put our questions in order. So I'm going to start by going to our first question. Default next question is what question automatically comes after this one. So now we're going to populate that next one here. And save. Then we go to this question and do the same here. And one more time. And save. All right, so if we go back to our form template record here and click View All, we can now see that we have a series of default next questions. So now all of our questions are in order. One first question and one last question. 2 more steps before we're able to test this. First, we are going to copy the message text of our first question and then hop back over to our form template and put it in a status of active. And since we're planning on sending this on the outbound, we're going to have to create an accompanying SMS template to go with it. So I'm going to navigate to SMS Templates, New. I'm going to call this Post Event Survey. And I'm going to paste the message text of my first question. Very important that the message text here and in your form template are the same. And then I'm going to associate the SMS template, or associate the form template I just created and click Save. All right, now we are ready to test. So if I go over to my contact record here and plan to send this out, I am just going to find where that lives. Post Event Survey. I can see that my question pops up over here. And I'm going to send it out. Over here in iMessage, you can see that I received that message. And I'm going to say, so as we can see, Mogli is receiving these responses and engaging. We actually just got our last question here. So where does all of this information live inside of Salesforce? It lives within a record we call a form. So if we navigate to the Forms tab here, we can see that if we sort by created date, we can see the most recent form and that the status is complete. And this means that this particular person got all the way through to a question that we have marked as a form complete. We can see the form template that they engaged with. And if we want a little bit more information about how they responded, here's where we can go. We can go into the form number. Over here in question responses, we can see all of the questions that the contact has received, as well as the answers that they provided. So what's great about this is that we can do all kinds of interesting things based off of these question responses here, such as report and dashboard on them. Another place to find the location of this form is by going to the contacts related list for forms. So if I go back to my test contact record, go to the related tab, over here I'm able to see all of the automated conversations that this contact has engaged with and whether they are in a status of complete or active. So what we just demonstrated was a linear form template, meaning that no matter how people respond, they are getting the same exact question every time. A branching form template works a little differently and works off of possible answers that we create. So depending on how people respond, we can send them different questions so that Mogli is responding in kind. We have plenty of information on how to build these out. If you have any questions, feel free to check out our user guide or contact a member of our team to help you. Up next, we're going to talk about application settings and gateways. Let's head to the Application Settings tab. Contact merge fields are where we would go to populate the API formatted names of any contact, custom, or standard merge fields in Salesforce. We would populate fields that we're interested in using within our text messages. We would take the API formatted name of the field and house it in between double curly brackets. However, the fields must be configured here in application settings in order for that functionality to work. Beneath that field, we have the default gateway mode field that has a few options. Keeping the value at default gateway allows all of your users to have access to send from any of the gateways that we have configured in your org. Alternatively, you can use users assigned phone number to create the setting where users must be permissioned to utilize certain gateways. The Create Anonymous Leads checkbox allows us to automatically create a lead record in the event that someone texts into one of your gateways and Mogli cannot find an existing contact or lead in your org with that Mogli number. So this is another benefit of ensuring that all of your contacts and leads have a properly populated Mogli number to avoid the potential of duplication. This is completely optional to check, but if we do have it checked in the event that somebody texted into one of your gateways that wasn't an existing contact or lead, a new lead would be created for them entitled Anonymous Lead from Mogli, and there would be all of the same Mogli fields on that lead as well as conversation view. So at that point, a user can choose to engage with that person via text and get information from them, such as first name, last name, email, etc., to populate that lead record or perhaps convert it to a contact. This default gateway field here is our global default gateway. So as you might remember earlier when I was mentioning the value of having the default gateway field populated on your contact and lead records, if that was blank and default was selected in the drop-down in conversation view to send a message, it would send from the value here in application settings, our global default gateway. In the event that we did want to assign gateway numbers, we would click Users Assigned Phone Number, Save, and then we would navigate to the Gateways tab. Let's say that we wanted to make it so I myself only had access to send from this number here. I'm going to click into that gateway number and take a look at the gateway users. And I can see that earlier at one point I had assigned myself to this particular number, but if I want to assign a different user to this number, I would go ahead and click New and assign my friend Rob to that number. Now, if I go back to my test contact record, I can see that I'm only going to have access to send from the numbers that have been configured. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the Gateways tab one more time. Here's where all of our outbound phone numbers live. If we click on one of these gateways, we can see information surrounding this phone number. We ask that most of these fields remain unmodified as they tie directly to the back end with our messaging partner. However, feel free at any time to modify the gateway name. Whatever the gateway name value is what will appear in your drop-down menus in Conversation View and Bulk SMS. Thanks for taking the time to let us show you around today. Reach out to your Client Success Manager with any specific questions or chat with us anytime at Mogli.com.